This is for our class on March 30th, and really the point of this video is just to show you what you need to access in order to do checkpoint 2 correctly. It's not a hard checkpoint, it's just making sure you have the right resources available for you. This checkpoint is just a pre-writing phase of your creative nonfiction piece. And so in the pre-writing phase, you'll essentially just brainstorm your ideas for your creative nonfiction piece. Let me remind you, and if you followed me at the beginning of this NTI process, I wanted you to go over the overview of the new project, and you'll see you have those two final products, structure and development paragraph, which we touched on in checkpoint 1 and we'll revisit on Wednesday, and then the final essay, which is a creative nonfiction piece of your own. The pre-writing phase has a few resources for you, so if you just follow me here, it's honestly up to you which ones you want to use. I usually hit up the first two. This idea generation Google slide is pretty cool, and really with this creative nonfiction piece, I always see that the English 100 students typically use a piece like this as far as kind of for the bones of an essay that they will write in that class. So think of this as an essay that you may use probably again. Most people do, and like the topics for this essay might be topics that you would see on like a college entrance exam. It's more of like, I would, not get so confused. It's kind of like a personal narrative in a way, but you can go through this slideshow and it'll show you, like right now on the slide, it says this can be a springboard for your college personal statements. These slides will give you some ideas. They'll give you some like good as far as a hook or like an attention grabber. They have some examples of that. But this slide in particular kind of tells you what things you would not want to talk about in your essay. Let me think. Let me see if I can find the topics. Here's a slide that'll give you an idea about some things you can write about. Hobbies or interests that has shaped you, an experience that challenged you, an experience that showed your leadership, a lesson you learned. The most important thing about this essay that Summit, I don't think really stresses, is that I would like to see there be a reflection process, quite like you see in the short story we just read. In The Myth of a Latin Woman, you should have seen all these anecdotes and these stories within the main story, but there's also a reflection after each story. So I'd like to see in your essay a story and then a reflection. And there's so many models that I can show you and will show you here in the next few days, but I want you just to brainstorm about your life, really. Checkpoint 2 is nothing but brainstorming, but it's really narrowing down to that topic. So by Wednesday, I should know what each of you want to write about. So use this slideshow if you want. It's personal essays, or like online dating slideshow, but it's called the Idea Generation Presentation. And then the creative nonfiction planning is actually what I want you to copy and paste into the checkpoint. So brainstorm at least 5 topics you could write your creative nonfiction essay about is number 1. Number 2, write some initial thoughts you have about structure. How do you want to share and how do you want to share the story? But really, I think what you focus on with this part is how would you want to, like with The Myth of a Latin Woman, she has anecdotes, she has little stories, and then a reflection after each story. Maybe you do that. Maybe you start out with the story and you're very vivid, and then you pause and reflect, and then you go back to the story. So there's some things that you can think about there. Number 3 is draft at least 3 possible first sentences. I really like this one. How are you going to hook the audience? So give me some ideas there. And then number 4, what is the overall message or theme you want to send to your audience? So obviously we gathered a theme from Judith Ortiz Cofer in The Myth of a Latin Woman. Very, very strong with the how you judge someone or how you um, preconceive somebody. There were a lot of things that were driven just by stereotypes of Latin females. So in your story, what's the message you would like to send? That's what you need to ask yourself for number 4. So 4 easy questions for you guys. I want to see some good thought into this. I've loved reading the poems I got from Checkpoint 1, but sadly I only have less than 10 turned in. I don't know what you all are doing, but things are about to turn red, and I hope some of you wake up. I've heard from some mentors and just some other folks about a lot of confusion, and really I'm trying to be as clear as possible. I've made videos and have models, and there was only one person that came to a Zoom or a Google Hangout to just get some clarification. So please, before you go and ask somebody or tell somebody you feel lost or something, why don't you try just to talk to me through Google Hangout or something, and watch the videos I'm creating for you, so that we don't have that, just kind of mass hysteria happening. Do not worry, the pacing is pretty slow right now, and I'm okay with that. But please do not sit there and just complain and act helpless. That's not how we roll. Um, I think that's all for checkpoint 2. I expect to have a few more turned in, and if you follow on my classroom, which you should, you'll see that today this is what I have planned on March 30th, and then by Wednesday I will be finished definitely with checkpoint 1 feedback. But checkpoint 1 is a final product. I don't know if some of you all realize that. Checkpoint 1 is a final product, and if you have not submitted for feedback, there's no way you can submit for the final product. So some of you need to get to checkpoint 1, finalize it, and then move on to checkpoint 2. But right now you're off track if you do not have checkpoint 1 complete, and you will be read today. Okay, so if you have any questions, hop on Google Hangout, follow my announcements, watch the videos, do that, and you will be fine. Okay, and I look forward to hearing from some of you all. And on Fridays, I think most of you know on Fridays the class is going to be essentially for power focus areas. So most of you have not. I've talked to maybe a couple from the junior class, but some of you need to think about maybe some power focus areas we can take on Friday this week. Let me know if you need anything else.